So first up, we're going to be checking out, just for funsies, College Hell. What's the difference from overly sarcastic productions? I actually haven't seen this. It's from 9 years ago.
One day, when Gregory was supposed to be studying for finals.
Hey, Red.
Oh, that's probably
I should
Blue.
be studying for finals, but I don't wanna. Whatever shall I do?
Have you considered not studying?
I was an English major. I could get away with that. Hell, I got away with sleeping through 2 of my finals and I still passed. I mean, having a perfect score helped, but it's possible. I'm not an engineer, which I'm pretty sure at least one of them was.
Yeah.
Brilliance!
Why didn't I think of this before?
Transition.
So registration was this morning, and my floor mate got all 8
What?
a.m. classes.
Oh,
Wait. Registration.
So registration was this morning.
Oh, so he was actually living on campus too. I commuted. It saved like $20,000 because that's how much living there would have cost.
And my floor mate got all 8 a.m. classes.
oh, damn, that's a circle of hell all on its own.
Wait, we can run with this.
What?
2 hours of not studying later.
Looks like we finally finished our Hell as College list of things.
No,
They're actually doing the college procrastination on the list of college procrastination. Oh, God. Also, a roommate who has 8 a.m. classes every day. I would have been that guy. Except I didn't have classes that late. They started at 7:30 for me, and I had an hour commute. Well, actually, 45 minutes. You want to know why I drink coffee? It's because I didn't want to crash. It's not a good reason. Also, when I started, I couldn't drink coffee. I basically took half a thing of coffee and filled it with chocolate cocoa powder. It actually was legitimately delicious and still not as sweet as Starbucks, so probably healthier. Yeah. And why is everyone in the comments going, I see Airier hasn't learned his lesson. Xenodragon, you gotta be a lot more specific. There's a lot of lessons I don't learn. Wait, that's probably a bad thing.
we can go get those lessons on proper inflection and tone. So here's
No.
the dealio. Because college
That's why they were doing the over-the-top tone voice, because they were talking about lessons on proper tone and inflection. So they immediately went to a correct inflection prior to the lesson finishing, or after the lesson finished. Okay, well played on that one. I consume the dreams of your future. But this isn't the IRS.
is its own wonderful little hell, it felt only rational to draw the obvious connections between Dante's Inferno and the hell that is college.
This is the byproduct of that psychotic brainchild.
Circle 1! Those poor souls trapped in limbo are the prospies who never found it in their hearts to commit. Their punishment is to simply not to go to college. Poor them.
Wait, there's people who actually just don't decide where to go? I mean, I went to community college because it was literally $1,000 a semester. As opposed to, what was the other place in my area? Pitt, which was $1,000 per day. Considering some of the prices I've seen, I don't think that's a joke anymore. Yeah.
They will live in their parents' basement forever. Circle 2.
Also where I lived when I was in college, so I have no room to say anything on this. Wow, this is... I'm getting a bit hard on this one.
In the circle of lust are those who used all the condoms, sexiled their roommate one too many times, talked about their sexploits at dinner when literally no one asked or wanted to hear, or engaged in such behaviors at an inordinately high volume, not even thinking to account for the thinness of the walls or the floors.
Here we find about 90.
The floors, too! At this point, I would just put foam on my room and turn it into a mental asylum office, because at this point, I would think that's the better option. We all float down here. It's safe. Oh, God. Literally, this is the stereotype for every college roommate in every sitcom. And I do mean ever. Yeah, my school, when I visited my girlfriend at the time, who is now currently my wife, those floors were thick because they decided brutalism was too thin and straightforward. So they decided, let's just go straight slabs of concrete on everything. So it was really soundproof. Really soundproof, except the windows, which were really not.
90% of all college students, or essentially the way you see it, everyone but you.
Their
Yeah.
punishment, fittingly enough, is to be hit on by a creepy person in a frat party for all eternity.
Circle 3.
In the circle of gluttony, we find those criminals who hoarded dining hall food.
For some ungodly reason.
If they want
This wasn't me. It was actually my wife. She loved the asparagus. And I know what I just said. The dining hall had actually good food because they had just invested way too much money to take it from, oh God, why are we eating this, to, it's cheaper than McDonald's. And she loved the asparagus. they actually did a really good job braising it. And I had a few times like, oh, wow, if this was anything other than asparagus, I would actually consider paying money for this. I didn't because I have standards, and those standards are things that will kill me, and this was not one of those.
Wanted dining hall food, they'll get dining hall food. Their punishment is to dine on Aramark forever.
Circle 4.
Yeah.
Those found in the circle of avarice are those pretentious dickweeds who selected a major solely for the desire to get a lucrative job.
And they never shut up about all the internships they qualify for.
I wish I resembled this one. But I know so many people who did this. So many people who are in my direct, immediate family who got those job offers, and then they got those jobs, and then they paid off $80,000 of college in 2 years because they decided, I could do a little overtime. And then they didn't, and they still paid it off. This is fine.
Sadly, these poor souls are doomed to an eternity of working as a fry cook at Burger King.
Next up.
See, I like your outcome better. Mine is, we are very much in for the job, and then they got the job, and, I mean, admittedly, the guy's a genius, but at the same time, oh!
Up is Circle 5, and it's a well-accepted fact that going to college means having to take tests, and lots of them.
But I'm afraid that some people didn't get the memo. Those found in the circle of the wrathful and the sullen are those who seem surprised, angry, or just plain mopey at the prospect of having to actually take exams.
Doing work at college? Inconceivable!
Fittingly, these poor sods are forced to stress and study forever. And here's the really bad.
See, there's a key to getting around this. Don't study. You'll never be stressed about it. Which, oddly enough, does actually make it easier to retain what you already do remember, because the stress of studying does have a way to wipe it out from your mind. So if you are pre-stressed going into the test, you actually remember less, because what you're remembering isn't actually the memory itself. You're remembering the stress which is associated with the memory, so you're doing yourself a loop, and that makes it harder to remember the actual thought process, because memory is not access file, it's access file, re-edit it based on whatever you're thinking at the moment, put it back, and every time you re-access the file through memory, it's re-encoded with whatever you added onto it at the time being. So the less you remember something, the better you remember it. Human minds are fucked up.
Bad part, if they ever take their eyes off of their work, they instantly forget everything.
Be glad your studying doesn't look like this.
Circle 6.
Again, I figured that out by not studying at all.
We all know that one guy who never shuts up about his crappy professors.
They surely can't be that bad, right?
Well, hell certainly thinks so. Those heretics who complain inordinately about these poor, overworked souls find themselves holding office hours and burning cubicles.
Let's see how he...
Yes, damn you and your gainful employment. And now you can complain about your bosses who are horrible. I wasn't the guy complaining about them, but there was one guy in college who definitely earned that title. And if you ever have a professor who says the Mississippi River is a character, and they introduce that concept in the test, it's deserved.
Easy they think it is after an eternity explaining the same concept to bored adolescents over and over again.
Circle 7. So
Wait, isn't that what they do? Like literally explain the same concepts to adolescents over? That's literally their entire chat. Oh, I see the joke here.
since we're at least tangentially adhering to the source material here, this circle has 3 rings in it.
Beyonce must have loved it.
So in the first ring, we
Put
find
a
those
ring on it.
monsters who callously trash the rooms of others.
That's as close to murder as you can get in college.
Wait, what? They did what?
Ring, we find those monsters who callously trash the rooms of others.
That's as close to murder as you can get in college.
See, this is why I was okay with living off campus, because that would piss me off. I don't do much, but it would piss me off. Also, I would literally cry because the idea of actually having to clean scares me. I'm the kind of person who my girlfriend at the time, now wife, snuck into my apartment and cleaned it when I was at work. Multiple times. Yeah. I love her. I do not deserve her. And she probably deserves better than me because she had to sneak into my apartment to clean. Oh, God. Also, Zia Dragon, you said, this is why I still think college is a prison. I believe it even worse now. Oddly enough, and this is going to sound weird considering this is mostly just venting about college, I liked it. Yeah, I mean, I was also an English major who knew I was going to be doing English major things, and I went on to do English major things. So it legitimately was helpful, but the classes that were super useful were more logic-based because it structures your thinking in a way that is mathematical, but done through narrative and words, which actually did kind of work out. So it was really fascinating.
These morally depraved and unorganized souls are forced to remain in their rooms with the sprinklers going off forever.
People who engage in overly self-destructive behavior find themselves in the next ring, transformed into expensive textbooks forever.
Get it?
The Inferno. Yeah, the Inferno for kid. Oh God, a kid's Inferno. That's.
It's like the suicide forest, because paper comes from trees, yo. Save the planet. In the Ring of the Blasphemers, we find those perpetually unsatisfied bellends who solve all their problems by whining to anyone who'll listen.
And those who even don't want to.
About the university as a whole, despite actively going there and not making the slightest effort to transfer elsewhere.
I have no idea who this resembles. Nothing that has happened has literally in any way, shape, or form described me in this last few minutes. Moving on.
These wine sellers, are doomed to wear sweaters from rival universities and deal with the social consequences forever.
Thus is the price of half-assing your treachery.
Circle A.
Ha! Even better. Do what I do. Go to California University, where the biggest claim to fame is you found out there was a hockey team when the hockey team was arrested because they were all drug dealers. And the surprise wasn't that they were drug dealers, it's that they were also on a hockey team. No one knew that part. Apparently it was a legitimate thing. They were even good at, from what I've been told. Never even knew we had a hockey team. Or a football team until they were arrested for killing someone, which admittedly made the hockey guys look like the more upstanding team. I went to a really fucked up school, didn't I? Huh.
8.
Onward to the Malibu crap!
Aren't I a genius?
In the first Bullj are those who, when consigned to group project work, refused to contribute or pull their weight, and instead devoted their time and energy to kissing up to the one contributing member of the group, knowing full well that they, and everyone else, hate your guts.
Okay, that Italian wasn't quite correct, but it was mostly okay, so I'll let it slide. Anyway, the price for such pandering is an eternity of pulling your weight in the form of dragging boulders in a twisted infinite relay race for all eternity.
Next is the
I thought that was just called working at a cubicle. Oh, that's the outcome of all of them, yeah.
That wasn't even slightly Italian.
Flattery, where those teachers' pets who endlessly kiss up are turned into that which they long to become.
Teachers?
Actual pets. Now this bogey
Red, you're killing me.
is for a whole new kind of asshole.
Dude, I've seen the internet long enough. I don't think that's a punishment to a significant proportion of the population. Also, because sometimes the off-brand about it is less creepy than the actual anime. If you know the one I'm referring to, I will give you a second to go throw up, and I'm only fighting it right now because I'm live, and I do not want to do that. Oh, God, I can feel it in my gut.
We've probably heard legends of that guy, but few have ever actually seen his face. That dedicated douchebag who signs up for hundreds of prime time slots the minute class registration opens, and then sells them back for exorbitant prices.
This squeaky-voiced tosspot,
who's probably also a bored econ major, just you.
Oh, that's brilliant. My class never had enough spots for anyone to even sign up, so signing up early was impossible. But that is actually brilliant. I would have been this asshole if I was smart enough to think about it. I'm actually annoyed at myself for not thinking about it. This is bugging me.
You watch
is sentenced to eternal 8 a.m. classes.
And because we're theoretically sticking to the source
already in 8
material,
a.m., so
they're
no
also
problem.
upside down and on fire.
If you want to sell the good stuff,
I thought that was just going to like a technical writing class. I know what I said, and if you've taken that class, you know what I mean.
You're gonna get left with the bad stuff.
Next in this bulge,
what circle of hell am I in to deserve this?
are those who try to cheat their own future, those who attempt to get a leg up in their classes by immorally procuring previous year's study materials.
Asking upperclassmen for old exam questions. There are no depths to which these depraved deadbeats won't dive.
Seriously? I have never heard of this stereotype of people actually trying to work ahead on study materials for a class they're not in. I'm assuming Red was doing that.
Ooh, alliteration.
For their crimes against properly educating themselves, those souls are doomed to eternally use the wrong study guides, and thus show up to their biofinal armed with perfect knowledge of 18th century French history.
Next is the bulge.
Oh, I guess. So they weren't actually studying ahead. They were getting the answers to the wrong test. Okay, that makes more sense.
Why are you doing this to me?
Barriers, students who try and line up business opportunities with other students, despite all of them essentially being Ponzi schemes. And this one is my favorite punishment.
Worst job interview ever. They're unprepared. Their suit is uncomfortable. One of their pockets started falling off on their way over, and it's not super obvious, but they know that it's there and it's slowly driving them nuts. One of their shoes is brown and the other is black, and they spend the entire interview hoping to God that the interviewer doesn't notice.
Oh, but he notices, and he notices him noticing, and he notices him noticing him noticing, and this goes on forever because he's in hell. In the next Borgie, we
Stop.
find the hip.
She's getting worse and worse every time she says it. I love it. Also, that interview description. I'm not saying that I feel significant existential pain at everything they just said, but there's a reason I am always on camera in a sweatshirt or sometimes a bathrobe, because I will not put on a suit unless I absolutely have literally no choice. Not, is there a way out of it? I mean, literally, I will face significant repercussions for not wearing it. And even then, suddenly being sick is an option I will take before that. Suddenly, visibly, and vocally throwing up, I think that would be a much more pleasant option. Ain't doing that shit again, man. Oh, God. Having done it again after that, I still hate it. And just because I can, still. Also, Xenodragon, am I going to do a ZZZ event or saving for the ZZZ stream there? I don't really know. Honestly, I don't mind doing ZZZ, but I kind of want to just go on the download with those games because, frankly, I was putting too much money into gacha games. I like them, but also my luck has been kind of crazy lately to the point where I haven't needed to invest to get everything I wanted. And it's kind of insane and freaking me out. And I think if I stream, I'll break that lucky streak. It's weird. I don't get it. And it's completely nonsensical. But also it's worked, so I'm not going to question it.
Hypocrites, those squeaky clean, starry-eyed freshmen whose stellar work ethic completely dissolves after a single semester as they melt into a puddle of alcohol and missed classes.
Their next part.
Ha! Joke's on you! I started that way in high school. Minus the alcohol part, because for some reason I did not ever pick up drinking as a hobby. I actually just liked things that were expensive and had really nice taste, but also had such tiny alcohol content that they barely counted, and I got laughed at for that. Oh, I think I see why I never picked up social drinking. I'm not social. Oh, that would do it. Also, maybe it's just me. I went to a high school that was like, hey, you got 9 classes. Let's give you 11 worth of homework for one day. And you get to college, like, okay, you got 5 classes this year. They're going to take like 3 times as long, but you only get that amount of homework. And usually it's just to study and understand and work on a project. Maybe that's just because I was in an English major setup and it was more learn the actual goddamn material and then don't fuck up, as opposed to anyone else who's like, you need to have this specific knowledge. And it actually seemed easier. And also it helped that I did remember more of it, other than spelling, because fuck spelling. Also, it's not like I really care because spell check is usually good enough.
Punishment is truly karmic. They're forced to explain their deteriorating grades to their parents over an eternally awkward dinner.
Plus, they smell of weed the whole time, and it's pretty obvious, but they're not sure if their parents recognize it or not.
Oh,
See, this is also different. My dad was a Grateful Dead fan. If I came home smelling that, which unfortunately I never did, I think I would have got approval for that. It's like, oh yeah, dude, I remember that. I know the guy on 6th Street in Boston, which we don't live in, so he can't actually go to anymore. Also, I think he's dead, but I knew a guy. Yeah. I had a weird family.
but they do, much like the interview, they do.
Yeah, your parents got up to some crazy stuff in the 70s. First of all...
Oh, yeah. My mom wouldn't recognize it. And I can only tell because there was one time where my dad did, and he was just looking for my mom, seeing if she caught it, and no, she didn't. Oddly enough, the only one with a criminal record in my family is my mom. Involved in a nuclear power plant, oddly enough.
If you do this next thing, you're an actual bastard.
And you should be ashamed of yourself.
You kiss your mother with those thieving hands?
Anyway, people
What?
in this next bullshit.
Is that how you say that?
It's really not that hard.
Ah.
Are thieves, plain and
Wait, was she doing that unironically? I thought she was just screwing around with him.
Anyway, people in this next bullshit.
Is that how you say that?
It's really not that hard.
Ah.
Are thieves, plain and simple. These are the godless sociopaths who steal unattended laptops in the library, with no regard for the countless essays and assignments they're callously murdering.
And so the takers have been...
I don't know if this was ever a thing, but I left my laptop unattended plenty of times. And it was always exactly where I left it when I came back. It was so bad that when I found out there was viruses and malware on my computer for logging into the school's Wi-Fi, and it was completely backlogged, and I cleaned it out, I redid everything, I realized, oh, no, wait, it wasn't running badly because of all the spyware and spam that found out that I had no idea how to spell words. It was just such a crappy computer with nothing on it that was worth stealing. Oddly enough, the reason it broke is because it literally froze. I don't mean that as like a blue screen. I mean, apparently leaving your laptop in a car when it's negative 20 degrees outside is, I think the term is, bad. Yeah. And even then, it was only the screen.
Become the takers in Taken, doomed to an eternity of
What
being
the
hunted
fuck?
by none other than Liam Neeson. And those
Oh,
in
that's
this
supposed to
pool
be
I
Liam
literally
Neeson.
just
are
said.
deceiving, just like those low down
He just got ninja'd. I literally ninja too. I want to see that again. Oh, it was to me.
than Liam Neeson. And those in this pool
I literally just said.
Bull-
deceiving, just like those low down, dirty deceivers that they are.
References.
So yeah, this one is full of deceivers, in case you didn't get the memo.
Oh,
Those
never got it.
betrayers who screw over their friends during housing by telling them they'll all stick together and end up leaving to get a single all by themselves.
Deception.
I secretly hate all of you? I secretly hate all of you. Yeah. See, this is why I was immediately upfront by going, I hate all of you. And then never moving to school at all. It was awesome. And literally, again, $20,000 cheaper.
Deception.
They screwed their friends, and now their friends screw them.
Not quite.
That is, they find themselves in the absolute worst room on campus. No outlets work, there's a sprinkler right over their bed, the windows don't open, and the room permanently smells of piss.
It's also
How is that different from every other room?
next to the RA's room, and the walls are paper thin.
And on the other side, the neighbors are constantly banging.
Their roommate has a significant other who literally never leaves and has the worst laugh.
And we all know the people who belong in this next bowl. Hey,
That's Spanish!
I believe you mean es español.
Oh, God
It's
damn
only
it,
the
Red.
gossipers who never stop spreading their lies.
No, I didn't become an atheist because I once pissed myself in church. Please stop saying that. It's not true.
Just gonna let that one slide. Anyway.
Okay, that is so brilliant. I want to see this again.
It's home to the gossipers who never stop spreading their
Straight to the
lies.
yickety yak.
No, I didn't become an atheist because I once pissed myself in church. Please stop saying that. It's not true.
Just gonna let that one slide.
Okay, that's absolutely one of the best jokes I've seen Red pull ever. Just like sliding in, saying she's going to let it slide. It's not even a pun on that. It's just awesome.
Anyway, the turntables turn on these pitiable fools, and
Thank
suddenly they are the gossipies. Everyone is talking about them behind their back.
They don't know what they're saying, so they're eternally
involves a
self-conscious.
couch.
They know that things are being said and they're not happy about it. Also, you're not allowed to say Bull J anymore.
But I've never said Bull J. So in this thingy are the
You went
cheaters who
Super
cheat on
Saiyan.
stuff. Not the most specific of crimes.
And I watched Harry Potter 5 a couple months ago, so today's punishment is that every word they've ever plagiarized or otherwise stolen is permanently and repeatedly branded on their body.
Better hope you stole something short, buddy-o. You forgot
They all end up looking like Lorgar. Oh, God.
the evil laughter.
Oh. Circle 9. This circle's mostly for traders, so the first on our list are those
Wouldn't that be
traders to
deceivers?
kin who spend all of their parents' money.
Those daft spendthrifts, when will they learn?
Never, because they get to be frozen in the nearest body of water. Yay, source material!
Oh, yeah, that is actually how that happened. Son, I am disappointed. They're even in the fancy pants uniform outfit that they previously were wearing over here. Also, Red in a top hat with a monocle. Nice.
Hope you're proud of yourself, because your parents sure aren't.
Then there are those
Yeah.
traders to common decency.
Can you imagine if you had parents who are proud of the decisions you made? Like, talking online as a suitable part-time job? Yeah.
And there are kind of a lot of them, so buckle up.
Those who betray their friends by leaving their clothes in the wash for hours are subject to a fitting punishment, being trapped in a washing machine with all the other souls.
Wait, people actually forgot their clothes in the wash for hours? Oh, they would get moldy and then I forgot it once. And I came back and there was mold and I legitimately just like, you know what? I think I'll get new clothing. Do I have the money for it? I will find it because I don't need to eat nearly as much as I need to make sure that my shirt is not trying to literally consume my flesh. Because there was some kind of bacteria on it and it was trying to eat my flesh. Let's not go there. That would be a bad option.
And also, someone's laundry. By the way, if you actually do this, you're a monster.
The
Yeah.
world doesn't revolve around you, asshole. Get it? Because revolve and washing machines spin?
No.
I'm a genius.
No, you don't
Yeah,
get it.
okay. Then there are the traitors to household courtesy. Those who have a snog, or worse, when the roommate's still in the room.
Doesn't matter if they're asleep, you're still an awful person.
And their punishment? Naked forever!
If you want to be indecent in the company of others, so help me God, you will be indecent in the company of others.
You know, considering that's probably their kink, I think this is more of a courtesy on their point than a punishment. Also, oh god, that. Nope.
And this last one is the most heinous of all crimes.
My God.
And no more joking. If you do this, I will hunt you down and slap you.
We've been kidding up until now, but if you actually do this in real life, I hate you and everything you stand for.
These are the people who are mean to their teachers.
This is unforgivable. Teachers are national treasures.
They take time.
Wait, people would do that? Why would they be mean to the person who literally controls their grade? Oh, they have no self-preservation. Okay, that makes sense.
Time out of their lives to make your sorry butt a little bit smarter, and this is how you repay them.
Your parents raised you better than this.
Would you
No, they
be mean
didn't.
to your grandma? Huh?
If you only knew how much work they did for you, you wouldn't be able to look yourself in the mirror.
Ever indebted to our source material, the punishment for being a dick to teachers is eternally drowning in the school's tuition vault while the university president watches and laughs.
So now that we
No, see, that's completely irresponsible. Everyone knows the student or the president of the university would not actually sit there and laugh. They would be like, why do they get to be in the vault? I want to go in the vault. I might be projecting because there have been multiple presidents of Cal U where I went for my undergrad who were either kicked out because they were definitely embezzling or just heavily suspected and maybe charged of embezzling. Or they all knew they were embezzling, but for some reason they got away with it because at this point everyone's like, I don't even fucking care anymore. It's so goddamn expensive. We can't afford to even bring a freaking audience to look at this. Who can hire an audit at this point? I'm not saying that it's like it's a massive corrupt shithole. Yeah.
we've described the hell of our creation, is there really a moral to the story?
Don't be an ass.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds like pretty good life advice.
The other moral of the story is if you're going to procrastinate studying, at least do something.
Oh wait, this is 9 years ago. Were they actually doing this while in college and not doing something they should have been? Yeah, probably, and that makes it better. God damn it.
Okay, so Red, say it with me because this is going to bother me to no
Bolge?
end. Bolge.
Bulgy.
Boogie.
Bolge.
Bolja.
You are pure evil.
Yes.
Necessary.
That was awesome, but also I'm going to have nightmares about the entire idea of leaving clothes in the wash and then just forgetting about them and it gets moldy and Gah. One time, man, made the mistake one time, never again. It's worth sitting in there and just like bringing your phone and watching something than risking that. Oh God, no. I have a little bit of trauma, apparently. Who'd have thought? I did it because I did not realize that was a trauma I had. I had successfully repressed it, and now I don't anymore. Lovely. Yeah. So for everyone watching, you guys know the deal. There'll be a link below. Link below. I cannot speak today. Link below. There's the words. I could say the B to the original video. Hit it up, and I'll see you in the next one.